If there's one thing we can all agree on, it's that cheating is terrifying. Nobody's sitting around thinking, man, I hope my partner hooks up with a barista who always spells their name wrong. And yet, cheating stories are everywhere. You can't scroll through social media for 5 minutes without some devastating story about betrayal popping up.
Morning. What up? Good morning!
And the worst part, half the comments are always like, all men are trash, or women ain't loyal, as if one person's terrible decision is somehow representative of 4 billion people. Make it make sense. The truly scary thing about cheating is how it seems to come out of nowhere. One day you're planning a vacation together, the next day you're finding suspicious texts that definitely weren't meant for your eyes. Can't wait to see you again. With the eggplant emoji, I mean, unless they're a farmer with terrible autocorrect, something's up. But before we dive deeper, let me quickly clarify something. Despite what TikTok and Instagram would have you believe, most relationships don't end because someone's getting railed in the Wendy's parking lot. Social media algorithms feed you the most dramatic, rage-inducing content because that's what keeps you scrolling. It's like emotional junk food. Terrible for you, but you can't stop consuming it. So why do people cheat instead of just breaking up? Is having an awkward conversation really worse than destroying someone's trust and potentially giving them trust issues for the next decade? Let's break down the psychology, because there's actually some fascinating science behind why people risked everything for a quick hookup. First up, let's talk about something psychologists call the investment model. This theory suggests that people stay in relationships based on three factors: satisfaction, alternatives, and investments. When someone cheats, they're essentially saying, I want to keep all my investments in this relationship. But I'd also like to sample the alternatives. Please and thank you. It's like wanting to keep your Netflix subscription while also stealing your neighbor's HBO password. The problem is, humans are remarkably good at compartmentalizing. We can put our relationship in one mental box and our affair in another, convincing ourselves they don't affect each other. Spoiler alert, they absolutely do. Now, some researchers point to evolutionary psychology to explain cheating. According to this theory, men are biologically programmed to spread their seed to as many partners as possible to ensure their genes survive, while women might cheat to secure better genes or resources for their offspring. But before the men are trash crowd starts celebrating this validation, hold up. Modern research shows that women cheat almost as much as men do. The difference? Society has traditionally judged women more harshly for it. So much for evolutionary excuses. Turns out humans of all genders can be equally terrible when given the opportunity. Then there's the unmet needs explanation. We all have different needs in relationships: emotional support, intellectual stimulation, sexual satisfaction, security, etc. When important needs go unmet for extended periods, some people look outside your relationship rather than addressing the issues directly. This isn't just about sex. Someone might cheat because they crave emotional intimacy their partner doesn't provide, or intellectual conversation, or simply feeling valued and appreciated. It's like ordering a pizza because your fridge is empty, instead of just going grocery shopping. A quick fix that doesn't solve the underlying problem. We also can't ignore how technology has made cheating easier than ever. Dating apps, social media, and messaging platforms provide unprecedented access to potential partners with minimal effort. 20 years ago, having an affair required significant planning and risk. Now, it's as easy as swiping right or sliding into DMs. The digital world also creates a false sense of disconnection from reality. People say and do things online they'd never do in person, convincing themselves that virtual interactions don't count as cheating. This brings us to the concept of micro-cheating, those small betrayals that don't involve physical intimacy but still cross relationship boundaries. Like when your partner is texting their work friend at 2 a.m. and somehow the conversation isn't about quarterly reports. These small betrayals often pave the way for bigger ones, because they help people justify their actions. Well, I've already been flirting, so what's the big deal if I take it a step further? Now, let's talk about attachment styles. And no, this isn't some zodiac sign nonsense. This is legitimate psychology that explains why you keep finding yourself dating people who are emotionally unavailable or clingy as hell. There are three main attachment styles that develop in childhood and follow us into adulthood: secure, anxious, and avoidant. Secure attachment is basically winning the psychological lottery. These people had consistent caregivers who responded to their needs. In relationships, they communicate effectively, trust easily, and don't freak out when their partner doesn't text back immediately. They're the people who make relationships look easy while the rest of us are over here having meltdowns. Then there's anxious attachment. These folks had inconsistent caregiving. Sometimes their needs were met, sometimes not. As adults, they're constantly worried their partner is going to leave them. They need constant reassurance. Text you 47 times if you don't respond, and interpret "I'm tired" as "I don't love you anymore." Dating someone with anxious attachment is like having a relationship with your phone's low battery notification. Constant alerts that something's wrong. Finally, we have avoidant attachment. These people learned early on that their needs wouldn't be met, so they stop expressing themselves altogether. In relationships, they keep partners at arm's length, value independence above all else, and run for the hills at the first sign of emotional intimacy. They're the ones who ghost you after 6 months because you asked where the relationship was going. Here's where it gets interesting. People with insecure attachment styles, or anxious and avoidant, are more likely to cheat, but for different reasons. Anxiously attached people might cheat because they're seeking validation and reassurance they're not getting from their partner. It's like they're saying, "If you won't tell me I'm attractive and worthy of love, I'll find someone who will." Avoidantly attached people might cheat to create emotional distance. When things get too intimate with their partner, they panic and seek an escape route. Cheating provides the perfect excuse to sabotage their relationship before they get too vulnerable. But this video isn't just about why people cheat. It's about why it seems to always happen to you. And there's some uncomfortable truth here. We often choose partners who confirm our worst fears about relationships. If you have anxious attachment, you might be attracted to avoidant partners who keep you at a distance, reinforcing your fear of abandonment. And guess what? Avoidant partners are more likely to cheat. It's like your subconscious is setting you up for the exact scenario you're most afraid of. Similarly, if you have avoidant attachment, you might choose anxious partners who are so desperate for your attention that they'll put up with your emotional unavailability. But their constant need for reassurance pushes you further away, potentially towards someone who doesn't make so many emotional demands. It's like psychological music chairs. Except nobody's having fun and everyone ends up hurt. Let's talk about cognitive dissonance, the mental gymnastics cheaters perform to justify their actions, because nobody wants to think of themselves as the villain in their own story. Some common justifications include, "My partner hasn't been meeting my needs." Translation: "I'm entitled to cheat if I'm not 100% satisfied." "It just happened." Translation: "I made a series of deliberate choices, but don't want to take responsibility." "It didn't mean anything." Translation: "Your feelings of betrayal are an overreaction." The reality is, cheating is rarely about sex. It's about opportunity, entitlement, and poor boundaries. It's about choosing short-term gratification over long-term commitment. And sometimes, it's about someone being a selfish jerk who doesn't deserve your trust in the first place. So, how do you avoid becoming another cheating statistic? Here are some science-backed strategies. First, become aware of your attachment style and how it might be setting you up for heartbreak. If you're constantly attracted to people who are emotionally unavailable, that's not a coincidence. It's a pattern. And patterns can be broken once you recognize them. Second, look for emotional intelligence in potential partners. Can they talk about their feelings without shutting down or exploding? Do they take responsibility for their actions? Can they handle conflict without making it World War III? These are good signs they won't cheat when their relationship hits inevitable rough patches. Third, establish clear boundaries early on. What constitutes cheating in your relationship? Is flirty texting off limits? What about following excess on Instagram? Having these conversations before there's a problem can prevent misunderstandings later. Fourth, prioritize communication over mind reading. Many affairs start because someone's needs aren't being met, but they never actually communicated those needs. Your partner isn't a psychic. If something's bothering you, use your words like the evolved primate you are. And finally, remember that while you can reduce the risk of being cheated on, you can't control another person's actions. Some people will cheat regardless of how perfect you are or how great the relationship is. That's not a reflection on you. It's a reflection on their character and their issues. The truth is, cheating is complicated. It's rarely about just wanting to hook up with someone new. It's about insecurity, poor communication, unmet needs, and sometimes just plain selfishness. Understanding the psychology behind it doesn't excuse it, but it might help you avoid becoming another statistic. So, next time you're swiping through potential partners, maybe pay less attention to their abs and more attention to their emotional stability. Your future self will thank you. And if you've been cheated on before, remember, it says more about them than it does about you. You didn't cause someone else's poor choices. You deserve better, and better exists. Anyway, that's my TED Talk on why people suck at relationships. If you found this helpful, hit subscribe. If you didn't, well, your ex probably already subscribed just to spike you.